Hey guys, have a fun activity for you today. I'm going to have you create an image of the Incredible Hulk in a city scene with lightning and fog and smoke. It turns out really cool. We're going to all do this together. I'm going to provide you with all the pictures you need. So that's part one of this activity. Part two, you're going to have to go out and find a second superhero of your choice, bring in similar pictures to what I show you in this tutorial, and bring that together much in the same way as the Hulk activity. Now, the one we do together is going to be pretty easy because the pictures are provided. The one you have to do yourself requires you to think and really think about what blend modes you're using. So follow along, we're going to have fun. It's a real cool activity. So go ahead and open up Photoshop, and you will have downloaded all the pictures you need of the Hulk and the scene we're going to put them in. First picture we're going to open is a picture of the Hulk himself. It's that one right there, so I'm going to open that. Alright, so what we want to do with this image is we're going to isolate the Hulk. We need to use a selection technique and then mask away the Hulk. And because there is not a tremendous amount of contrast between the background and certain parts of this picture, we're going to have to spend a little more time with our brush tool on the layer mask. So we've practiced with that a little bit, and we're going to do some more today. So go ahead. For this, we can't use color range to make a selection. We're going to have to start out with a quick selection tool. So that's the 1, 2, 3, 4th button down. Hold it. There's your quick selection tool. All right, remember with this tool, brush size, varying the brush size makes a big difference when you're making a selection. So you can start, I'm going to start off with brush size. Looks like I'm at, what size am I? 80 right there. So I'm a brush size of 80. Hardness, okay, that's fine. Let me just keep going. I'm selecting the Hulk the best I can, and it's going to probably have a little issues with the dark hair against the dark background, but like I said, we're going to use the brush in a few minutes to clean that up, fix it. And I have done this activity a few times before, so I do know I get into some issues near the hands down here when I'm making a selection. All right, you see how that jumped on me? So I'm going to hit Command Z, and maybe I'll go over here a little bit, and it's jumping on me again. Keeps jumping on me. All right, so I think I'm dead in the water over there. I'm going to have to come back and use my mask or brush on the mask to bring that back. So let me go ahead and select this area, and it jumped again. So let's do this. I'm going to hit my minus brush right there and see if I can paint away in this area a little bit. And it'll let me. It got the detail right there, so that's good enough. Like I said, we're going to have to go with our brush on the mask there. Let me hit the plus button. I'm going through getting this part of the Hulk. I'm going to have to use the same technique I used just a second ago. So minus, go in here, and just take away a little bit at a time. And same thing there. And it's going to give me issues on the hands. I've done it, so I don't. So I'm going to leave it like that, and I'm going to use my brush to fix the errors that exist right there. So the Hulk is selected, so we simply need to mask this away. No, not that button, this button. So we mask the Hulk away, and I'm looking around the edge right there. Keep in mind, the edge of this doesn't have to be perfect, but I don't want it jagged like that. So let me go ahead and get my paintbrush with black on it. And I'm going to take it down size with my bracket keys, right about there. And I'm going to get a soft brush right there. So a soft brush, oops, don't want that. Let me go much smaller. Go around along the edge right there, just to soften that up just a little bit. Okay, soften that up, and you can go along the edge of this Hulk and do that a little bit more. Because the background we're going to put this in, this technique will actually make it look good. So just go through and do that the best you can. Let's flip the colors around there and see if it did. Yeah, so it didn't get the pants on that side, the shorts, whatever they are. So we got to clean that up with our brush. Looking along there, I'm going to flip it around to black again and just kind of smooth this edge up just a little bit. There are some techniques I'm going to show you later on that allows you to smooth the mask edge, but we're not going to do that today. We're just going to soften the underside of this and flip the color around. So I'm going back to white because I want to show the hands that are missing, and I'm also going to increase my brush size. So I'm going in there, increasing the brush size to paint back whatever is missing of the Hulk's hands, right? So I'll probably originally paint back more than I need to, just to kind of see where the edge is, where I need to make my modifications. All right, so I think that's about as good as I'm going to get right there. And I can zoom in, and with my black on the foreground, I'm going to go through, clean the edges up right there. I'm going to, let me do this, let me get fancy. I'm going to reduce my opacity just a little bit because it seems to be jumping on me too much. That works a lot better. So if you, oops. All right, so I reduced it to 75, and now I can clean it up a little easier than I was before, okay? All right, so that's going to be the setting I'm going to put this in. That detail does not have to be perfect down there. The detail along this edge looks good. Softening there is fine. Just go through the hand on the left-hand side. All right, so let's go ahead and flip the colors around right there. Let me take this up to 100% now. All right, because I want to see the pixels that are hidden and where I'm going to have to set the edge on this. All right, so I'm getting much better detail right there. That's what it looks like. Let me get this part of the finger as well. All right, so we have that. Let's go ahead and flip our colors around. And once again, I'm going to drop my opacity to about 75 and clean up these edges just a little bit. Now, this picture is going to be placed in a dark background. And because of that, you do not have to be absolutely perfect along the edges since it's a dark color that's right here. All right, so do your best. Okay, got that. Command minus. All right, let me zoom in on the head just a little bit to make sure that's everything I want it to be. All right, so right there, let me flip this around. I want to paint back some of the hair. And even though there's a shadow there, it's fine because this is going to be placed in a dark image. So that's probably what I want it to be. And I need to apply this layer mask. So I'm simply going to right click my layer mask and choose apply layer mask. This is now the image I have, and I'll be able to bring that over to another file in just a second. Let's go ahead and open up a different file. We're going to open up a file called Skyline. That's going to be our main background image. So go ahead and double click Skyline. And this is our skyline right there. All right, so I want to crop this image to 8.5 by 11. So let me go to my crop tool right there. If you don't see your crop tool, you can go to Workspace, Essentials, reset your Essentials, it'll come up. Okay, so crop tool right there, I'm going to go ahead and specify a ratio. So where's my 8.5 by 11? Right there is 8.5 by 11, and I need to flip that around so this new, where is the button? They keep changing what it looks like here. Okay, let's do it this way. Let's type 11 there. Let's type 8 here, 8.5 there. Let's see if it works. Okay, that gives me the 8.5 tall by 11 wide, which is what I want, and I'm going to commit my transformation by clicking it right there. All right, so this is the aspect ratio and the size I want, 8.5 by 11, and it's my background layer, so I don't have to mess with the background at all, and the blend mode of this particular layer, which we're going to work with, is going to be normal today. So that one looks good. Let's go ahead and bring the image of Hulk over now. So I'm going to Hulk 1, grabbing my move tool, and I'm going to bring him over to the skyline file right there. So bring him over, and I want to size him down a little bit. So I'm going to hold shift, grab the corner sizing handle, and size Hulk down just a little bit, and place him right there. Okay, there's Hulk. He's going to be the main character in this file, or this file. Okay, and I'm going to uncheck my transform controls. All right, so I have that Hulk. I also want to bring in some other items as well. I'm going to hide this Hulk right now so I can go through what I want to bring in. Now, we want this to kind of be a stormy night, so we're going to bring in some storm clouds, some lightning, some fog, and blend it all together with blend modes. So let's go ahead and bring in your stormy clouds. So let's go to File and Place Embedded, and go get the storm clouds file right there. And I'm going to place it. And with the storm clouds, I'm going to position it right about there is what I want. And let's commit that transformation as well. All right, so we're going to commit that transformation as well. And we're also going to adjust the blend modes. So we haven't worked, I don't think we've worked with blend modes before. But before I do, let me reposition the clouds. So the clouds are going to go below Hulk right there and above the background layer. All right, so blend mode allows you to blend two or more layers together. So we're going to blend storm clouds with the background and apply the blend mode to storm clouds. So with that layer active, I want you to go to this drop down right here that says normal. So when you click on that, you've got multiple options. And when you scroll through them, you can see the result of those blend modes. These blend modes, and there's a table in the book, if you want to look it up, blend modes. It tells you specifically what each one of these blend modes do, the kind of the science or the logic behind it. I'm not going to have you go through that. I simply want you to test to see which ones work well with your image. So you'll see different blend modes give you different results. A lot of them look good. For this particular one, I want to go with linear dodge. So I want you to go find your linear dodge. Where is that? Linear light. Where's linear dodge? Am I absolutely blind? I know it's there. Linear burn, linear dodge right there. That's the one I want. Sorry it took me so long. So I've got my linear dodge right there, and you'll see the result I'm given. Now you can see, if you zoom in on this, you can see where these clouds are kind of covering the building. Now, we want the clouds to appear behind the building. So let's go ahead and place a mask on the storm clouds. So hit your masking button and get your paintbrush and flip your foreground color to black. And with a soft brush, so go up here, let's go a soft round brush right there. And you're gonna have to bump up the brush size, maybe a little more than that. And now, on your mask, you're going to hide the clouds that are over the building, okay? So we want the buildings to pop. We want those to come through. We don't want the clouds to be covering the buildings. That does not look realistic. So we're going through there, cleaning this up the best we can. All right, so clean that up all the way, all the buildings. The center part doesn't have to be absolutely perfect because where we placed Hulk right in the middle, he's going to be covering up these buildings and clouds anyway. So it's more important to clean up the ones around the edges that will definitely be seen. And you can see you don't have to be absolutely perfect with this because everything's going to be somewhat blended together. You just want the buildings to pop just a little bit more than they currently do with the clouds. All right, so I'm about as good as I need to get it right there. Just clean this up just a little bit. All right, so that's what I want there. And I adjusted the blend mode to linear dodge. It's exactly what I want. All right, so we've got the stormy clouds. Let's bring in some lightning. So go ahead, there should be a picture of lightning in there. So File, Place Embedded, and lightning right there. Double click it. All right, so we have a picture of a lightning. Let's go ahead and I'm going to drop my opacity just a little bit. Let me commit the transformation right there. And let's drop your opacity just a little bit, maybe like 50%. Now, we want the lightning where it's striking to be up a little bit. Up here maybe that's hitting the buildings or whatever it may be. So I'm going to position it right about there. Yeah, right about there. Okay. There's my lightning. It looks like it's striking some buildings. And I'm going to take my opacity back up to 100% because I positioned where I want. Actually, let me pull it down just a little bit more. That looks better. All right, so I'm going to bring my opacity back up to 100%. So I have my lightning strike right there. And you guessed it, we're going to change the blend mode of this particular layer. So we're going to go back to our blend modes right there. And for lightning, we're going to go ahead and scroll through some of them. You can see the different effects you get. But if we go with overlay, I think that gives us a good result. So go with overlay right there. And you have overlay, and you're probably, let's see what I'm going to go with. Let's maybe, do I need to drop my opacity at all? Well, let's see what that looks like. I don't think so, because I'm going to bring the fog in to cover some of this line there. And if that doesn't give us what we want, we can always apply a mask and clean up the edge so we don't see that edge right there. So that looks good. We're using an overlay, and we're going to bring in an image of fog. So go to File, Place Embedded, and we've got fog right there. All right, so our fog, let's go ahead and commit that transformation, and let's apply a blend mode to it as well. So we're going to go back to our blend modes, and we're going to go lighter color. So let's try lighter color. Where is that hiding? Lighter color gives me that right there. All right, so lighter color gives me that blend mode applied to the fog. I can see it right there. I'm still having issues with that line from the lightning back there. So let me hide the fog. I'm going to add a layer mask to lightning. And let me get my black brush on the, where's my mask? I didn't put one on there. Gotta put a mask. Now I'm on my mask. I can change my opacity. I'm going to change my opacity down to about 60%. Bump my brush size up, and I'm going to go through, and I do not want to see this line right there, okay? Never want to see a solid line like that, because you can see the artist did a bad job of blending items together. So if we go through there with a soft brush and reduced opacity, we can virtually eliminate that line and that problem it is creating for us, okay? So just randomly, and you can adjust your brush size just a little bit as well. All right, so I kind of like how that looks. There's not a defined line that shows I'm no good at what I'm doing, so I can move on. All right, so let's see what the fog and Hulk look like when they come in. Okay, so we have Hulk, the lightning, the stormy clouds, the fog, and the skyline. All right, so we need a couple more items before we're done. Let's open up a second picture of the Hulk. So go to File, Open, and we have Hulk 2, so go ahead and open that. All right, so this is the second picture of the Hulk. We're gonna go through the same process of selecting this. So unlock your background layer, and quick selection tool, go through, and we're gonna only use the right half image of this Hulk. So the right half's the only part you really need to focus on. We're not gonna use the left half. And the opacity is going to be bumped down as well, so your actual selection does not need to be perfect. But just make sure you do the best you can. Oops, Command Z. All right, that's good enough there. I don't care about the left half. Let me hit my minus button there to, this probably won't matter either. And let me mask away what I have. And my mask is selected. I'm grabbing my brush. And I'm going to put white on there because I'm going to paint back the parts of the Hulk that aren't there, right? That's probably pretty good right there. This looks fairly good down there. Let me flip the colors around. I'm going to go ahead and hide that part right there. I don't need it. I'm going to zoom in on some other parts as well. All right, so right there, let me bump this down just a little bit. colors around. Like I said, we're going to reduce the opacity on this one a little bit, so that's probably fine right there. Do I need to paint this part back? Maybe just a little. All right, so that's as good as I need for this. So let's go ahead and right-click the layer mask to apply layer mask, and bring Hulk over into the skyline scene, and we're going to place him over here. Okay, and he's going to go kind of this direction, and we're going to size him down as well. All right, so he's over there as well, and let's go ahead and reduce the opacity right there to about 50%. All right, there's 50%, so we have the Hulk on that left-hand side, and we need one more picture brought in before we're done. So commit that, uncheck your Show Transform Controls, and let's place the image of the Hulk text. All right, that's an image. So let's go to Place Embedded, and we're going to go to the file that says Hulk text. Let's go ahead and place that, and let's move it up to the top of the layer panel. So it needs to be above Hulk himself. All right. So it's a picture of the Hulk right there, the text, and if we simply changed our blend mode on this, so we're going to go to blend mode, and let's go linear dodge right there. All right, so that gives us the Hulk there. When I flattened this file or made it a JPEG, I put white there. So let's go ahead and add a layer mask to that as well. So select it. And actually, this gives you a good representation of what this blend mode does. So the linear dodge removes the black in the text, right? But it didn't remove the white that's in this image, or black in the image. It didn't remove the white. So let's go ahead and add a layer mask right there. Let's throw black on it. Get a hard round brush. So brush. Let's go. Oops. What am I doing? Get a regular hard round brush. Bump up the size. I'm going to go bigger than that. So I'm using my bracket keys. And with my mask, I can just go through and hide the white pixels that were in that image right there, and we can right-click it and choose, oops, can't right-click it because it's a smart object. So let's go ahead and select the layer itself. So right where Hulk text, right-click, choose rasterize layer. Now we can right-click the layer mask and choose apply layer mask, and we are done with this project. So pretty cool project. We use blend modes, masks, brought some things together. So that was with me providing you files. Now I want you to go out and find your own superhero. Don't care, Spider-Man, Black Panther, whatever you want. I want you to bring in clouds. I want you to bring in lightning. I want you to bring in fog, and I want you to bring in a background scene, all different than what I provided. Bring them together using blend modes and masks. Have fun, guys.